everyone and welcome to this UCAT preparation advice video. One of the core questions in the situational judgment part of the UCAT is the appropriateness question type. So in this video we're going to work to understand what this question type involves, how you should go about answering these types of questions, and then we're also going to go through an example question together to put all of that into practice. There are two types of appropriateness question in the situational judgment section. So the first of these asks you to select one option for a given response. And these options allow you to decide how appropriate that response is to the scenario. So the options that you have to choose from are a very appropriate thing to do, appropriate but not ideal, inappropriate but not awful, and very inappropriate. And then the second type of question asks you to select both the most and the least appropriate response to a given scenario. So that means that you're going to have to choose one of the three options to be the most appropriate and one of the three options to be the least appropriate. All appropriateness questions rely on your ability to discern the correct course of action when you're faced with a potentially difficult situation. So that can be in a hospital or another clinical space, or that can be outside of the core medical environment. So for example, in a dispute between friends or in a tutorial at university. Now we're going to go through a typical question from the appropriateness question type. So I'll put the question on the screen here so that you can see it, and I've also got the question down here in front of me so that I can see it. So let's go through this together. So Ashraf and Chloe are medical students who are shadowing GPs this week. They're both walking towards the clinic reception to collect their next patients. As they enter the clinic reception, Ashraf and Chloe call the names of their patients. As the patients get up, Chloe loudly tells Ashraf that she thinks that the reception staff should be responsible for collecting patients, as students have better things to do with their time. Ashraf notices that both patients and the receptionist have heard Chloe's remark and that the receptionist looks upset by the comment. How appropriate is the following response by Ashraf in this situation? And the response that we're given to analyse is suggest that Chloe explains her opinion to the patients. The issue that we've got here is that Chloe has not shown due respect to other members of the team. But her then doubling down on that stance by explaining her opinion to the patients is only going to make that situation much, much worse. So a far more appropriate response for her would be to realise her mistake, keep quiet for the moment, and then find the receptionist later on and apologise to them in private and work with them to repair their relationship and better understand interdisciplinary work. So in this situation, that option would actually be very inappropriate because it's an entirely unsuitable course of action. In order to avoid the common pitfalls, remember that you can use an option multiple times for each given scenario. So for example, in one scenario, there can be three responses that are all a very appropriate thing to do. So don't expect there to be a perfect balance of appropriate versus inappropriate actions for each scenario. In this video, we've talked about the two different types of appropriateness questions in the situational judgment section of the UCAT, and we've also gone through an example question together. So hopefully now you feel ready to tackle some of these questions by yourself.